welcome to this week's edition of Ranger Rundown. I'm Josh Mason. I'm sitting next to Todd Jones, live from Rooster's backyard.
Were you about to call me another name?
Well, I had to make sure you were not James Fortner.
I am not, but I do appreciate James filling in while I was doing the volleyball game. So
that's right. We had a good time last week.
Yeah.
Todd had a tough fought game Friday. We're going to talk about that at the end, and then kind of cover some volleyball. And
yeah, I mean it was. Obviously, the game didn't end the way we wanted it to, but it was an exciting game. It was a hard-fought game. A lot of positives to take away from it. You know, I think there's a learning foundation from this to kind of take off from it. But man, I know we walked away from it and we all kind of feel a little bad about it. But man, when you look back on it, it was really a good game. I mean, there's a lot of good stuff that happened, and it was very entertaining, and the crowd was amazing with the senior night stuff and all the youth football things going on. So I mean, there was a huge turnout. It was pretty interesting to be a part of it.
It was. No, really good turnout. First home game. Can we talk about the officiating?
I don't think we can talk about the officiating and or
I'm looking for a call in the back of the room, but
or the lack thereof.
He's ignoring us. Nobody's listening.
Yeah, I think we're probably going to stay away from that. I think we probably said enough on Friday night. At least I know that I did. I tried to turn over a new leaf. It's just not going to work.
I know. We started out with great intentions.
We did. I do that every year.
We failed.
My nature is my nature. Josh, today we have a good show lineup for everybody. Coach Long, our head volleyball coach, is going to be here. She's bringing middle hitter McKinley Carroll and then senior manager Savannah Glenn. For football, we got a couple players coming in. We got Case and Brooks and senior Ty Box going to talk a little bit about their season themselves. And then we're going to wrap things up with head football coach Brian Hill, talk about the game Friday night, the week preparation, and then our game on Andrews coming up. So stop worrying about your fantasy football team after week number 1, because it's Ranger Rundown time. Kicking things off, we have Coach Amy Long at the far end of the table. Coach Long, how are you doing?
Hey, good. Thank you for having me.
So, Coach, let's go through a couple of questions here. So your record so far this season is 22-7. How do you feel about where the team is, right now so far through the year?
We're doing really good. At first, we kind of started off a little slow, but we've got it together. We're working on a lot of stuff in practice, and we're seeing them execute that in the games. So that's really exciting to see them do that. So each week, I think we're getting better. We're learning how to play together well, and so we're doing really well.
Well, you've had some really good successes. You got won the consolation bracket at the Monahans tournament. You won silver at the Lou Allen, which is a big, huge tournament with a lot of good teams, and then you won the Denver City one. So. Did I say that right? You're looking at me as like I said it wrong.
No, you said it right.
Okay.
I was thinking.
So, yeah, I mean, and your record's a little bit better than it was last year at this point in time. So I think the team's really doing well. They're gelling. What's been the biggest surprise for you so far this season?
Just the way that they have come together, and they like one game we were down, it was like 20-12, and they don't ever give up. They never think, oh my God, we're going to lose. They're thinking, next ball, let's go. And we came back and beat them 26-24. So that kind of stuff is what I love. They're just always going, never giving up, and never think it's over until it's completely over. So I really like that.
Yeah. What's your main focus as the team approaches district play?
My main focus is that we speed up our offense. We're going to see some big blockers, especially in the playoffs. And a couple of them, in like Monahans, they have a big front, and so we have to be able to speed up our offense to spread their blocks and to try to get a one-on-one situation more often than not. And so that's what we're really working on. So if you ever hear me yell "go," in the middle of the game, that's what I'm yelling because we're standing there and we're not going.
Want to be a little bit faster.
Yes.
Yeah, I see that. How have you brought up district and Monahans. Monahans is a very good blocking team. Seem like they always are. They're a really good defensive team. Not a lot of offense that I saw earlier in the season, but very good blocking team. How have the other teams in the district looked, and who do you see shaking out as the kind of the front runners for that district championship?
Yeah, so Monahans will obviously be one of the front runners. They're always good. I think that'll be one of our toughest competition in district. We haven't got to see Seminole play yet at all. They don't go to any of the same tournaments that we do. So we've got some film on them, and that's really the only thing we're going to get to see on them until we play them. Andrews is strong this year. We've already got to play them in the Denver City tournament, and we beat them. But I bet they're going to rally, and they're going to come back at full force against us. Fort Stockton is better. They lost some of their big girls last year, and so but they're getting there, and they don't ever give up either. It always seems like their defense is fantastic. Nothing really hits the floor. So all those teams, I think our district is pretty strong. So, it's just one game at a time, and we can't count anybody out.
You definitely can't. And, and we have our own things that we have to work through and things like that. But I know our team will be competitive no matter who they play. And we saw that in Lubbock Liberty. We played this weekend. I thought they were the best team we played all year. They had a lot of size. They were good offensively. They were good defensively. And, at no point in time were we ever out of a game. We did drop a handful of points at a time, but we always find a way to claw ourselves back. And so, I just think we're going to be real competitive this year, the rest of the year.
Yeah, I think we will. Thank you.
What is the one thing that you think your team does the best?
I think they just are always encouraging each other and always going to the next thing. They don't ever get defeated. They're always ready for the next challenge. And they listen, and they adapt, and they do the stuff that we're trying to put in, and they never say it's dumb, and they just try to work and work. They're pleasers, and so it's really cool.
Well, that is a good thing to have as a coach, right? All right, McKinley, it's your turn. You ready to go?
Yes, sir.
All right, so why don't you tell everybody what position you play and what you like most about it?
Well, my position kind of depends on who our opponent is, but for the most part, I play the middle blocker, and I really enjoy it because that means I get to go back and serve and also play some back row. And I know I'm tall, but I love diving on the floor, and I just love playing back row. So I really like that I get to do kind of a little bit of both.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, and I've mentioned before in the broadcast, anybody that's listened to the volleyball games, and I talk about the versatility of the team, and one of the first people I mentioned is you, because you typically don't see a middle hitter that actually played back row last year and can play it as well as you do. And that I think when Coach says that people are willing to do whatever you ask them to do, I think you're probably number one on the list. I think you're probably one of the most coachable people out there.
Thank
and
you.
Just the versatility that you give the program is pretty important, I think, for their success this year.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
So I lost my question here.
It's okay.
So being your senior year, how has your role changed this year compared to last year?
I would just say that more of the underclassmen just kind of look up to me because not only am I a returner on varsity, but I'm also the senior. So there's no one else to go to because I'm now the oldest. So if they have a question about a drill or what we're doing that day, or even what shirt we're supposed to wear, it's just they come to all the seniors. So my role is just kind of more like a mom, I guess I would say. I'm okay, we're gonna do this time, or just something like that. I just feel like a mom now.
Are you a happy mom?
I am
or
a happy mom.
Are you
I
the
love
mean
being a
mom? Who's the mean mom?
Kaylee.
Kaylee Mack?
She will tell you. If she got on to me today, she was like, I was not in the net. I was like, I don't know, our knees hit. She was like, because you were in the net. I was like, okay. I was like, I was in the net. I love her though, but yes.
Everybody loves Kaylee Mack, but
I love her, but she will tell you if you are wrong.
I kind of knew that's where you were going to go with that, but I just gave you an
She's
opportunity.
so sweet, but when she gets into it, it's
she's very competitive.
She's so competitive, and which is good.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. You got to have one on the team.
You got to
right?
have one, yes, sir.
So, what are some of your personal goals for this season?
Some of my personal goals are just, I would love to go and help my team win district, and then honestly win a few playoff games because I've never experienced that. personally, so I think it'd be so fun. But really, it's just to have like a good senior year and just kind of finish the year out strong, no injuries, just build relationship with my teammates and just really just have fun.
Okay. All right. And then, so do you have any pregame rituals?
I do. So Kaylee is kind of like our hair doer on the team. She's so good at braiding hair. So before every game, she always puts some little braid or ponytail in my hair. And then I'm not big on energy drinks, but I think there's so like all the Alanis, I like how cute they are. So everyone on our team always has one. So I kind of just go around and like ask for a sip of everybody's Alani.
Okay. That's very hygienic of you.
I haven't gotten sick yet.
Yeah, we'll just,
So I guess we'll see.
Yeah, well,
if I'm not there tomorrow, we'll know why.
if one person's sick, everybody's sick, Coach.
Everyone's sick. We go down together.
All right, Savannah, hopefully you don't tell me the same thing that she just expressed, and hopefully you're not sharing your Alanis with her.
No, I do not.
So why don't you tell everyone what you do for Coach Long and kind of what your game responsibilities are?
Well, in all honesty, I do quite a lot for Coach Long that most people don't really know about. But for home games, I have to make sure that all the waters and the film, the med bag, and like all the necessities that are needed for the game are ready and prepared before all the teammates and the other team gets there. But for away games, I also have to make sure that we have all the balls ready because it depends on what color of balls we have because the color depends on the amount of numbers we have. But then I also have to make sure we have the ball cart, like everything's ready to go, and we don't forget anything.
So basically, you're the chief of staff that makes sure that she doesn't forget anything, and you have everything ready to go. Basically, yeah.
That is my job.
So I'm gonna brag on you a little bit about one thing. And so on Saturday, I'm not the best scorekeeper, right, when the game is going on because I get into it a little bit. You guys don't know that, but I do. And sometimes I'll miss a score or something like that. And on the game against Liberty, I had the score right. I knew it was right, and they'd missed a point of ours. And I'm like, they missed a point. We should have 22. And I was about to say, well, somebody needs to go up there. And all of a sudden, here comes Savannah Glenn marching right up there. I don't know if Coach Long said anything to you or you just saw it, but you just marched right up there in the middle of it and said, your score is wrong, and you got it fixed. I was like, that's a girl right there.
Well, technically, Kaylee had pointed it out because I was in the game, I was ready, I was ready for the next play, and Kaylee's like, the score's wrong. And I was like, oh, yes, it is. And so I go up there, and the poor little man is the one keeping scorebook, so he's a little slow. But
is it because he's a man or because he's old?
He's old.
Okay, it's the age thing. Okay.
Yes, because old people they're just cute and slow. But but the ref was like getting so mad at me because I was up there and I wasn't supposed to be up there. But I had to get that right, and of course the lady was so sweet. She's like, "Oh, okay."
Well, I'm glad that you took care of it. I'm glad to see that Kaylee Mack pays attention on the bench.
If the score is wrong, she's the first person to be like, that's not right. Even to her dad. Like, she'll be like, you did it wrong.
Or if the team's not cheering on the bench, she's like, we need to cheer.
She's definitely like our mom. I love it.
I asked Sims one time if she was ever afraid she's going to forget to sub in. She says no, because Kaylee Mack tells me when to go.
Yes.
And she will.
Let's go. It's our turn.
She's like, let's go. Like, okay.
All right, but this is not about Kaylee. This is about Savannah. So, Savannah, what is the best thing about being a part of this team?
I would definitely have to say it would be making the friendships with all the teammates. And especially since I am so close with these girls, it's just awesome.
Okay. What's your favorite volleyball memory over the past 4 years?
My favorite memory would have to be going to Graham.
Okay.
Because that is where all the memories are made and our crazy adventures begin.
Okay. And then last question, what's it been like working with Coach Long?
It's definitely an honor to work with Coach Long. She is so kind, and she took me in freshman year, so I've never been left behind. And she has shown me what true leadership skills are, and she brings out the best in all the girls, no matter what.
Well, I know that she thinks very highly of you, so appreciate you taking care of all the girls out there for them.
Thank you.
Okay, you guys ready for some rapid fire questions?
Sure.
All right, Kayla, McKinley, you get to answer first. Savannah, you get to answer second. You ready?
Okay.
All right, I know you're not prepared. Don't be afraid.
Okay.
What is your favorite food?
Pizza.
Steak.
Steak. All right. If someone's in trouble, which one's going to get them out of trouble? Candy or flowers?
Depends on who it is.
Well, let's say it's boyfriend or something like that.
Candy.
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 Flowers.
Flowers. Okay. What's your favorite color? I stumped her with favorite color.
Pink.
Okay, pink.
Mine's blue.
Blue. Oh, that's a great answer, Savannah. All right. Think about this in just a little bit. Which movie would you want to star in? Barbie 2 or the next Marvel movie?
Marvel.
Marvel.
Marvel. Okay. All right.
Yes.
I'd be Black Widow.
Oh, would you?
I would like to be a new character.
Oh, you would? Just create your own thing?
Yes, I would like my own role.
Oh, was it? Well, okay. Would it be like She-Hulk or something like that, or what are we?
No.
No. Okay. I'm just going to stop the question right there. Ladies, thanks for coming in. It's always great to have y'all on. Great laughs and a good time.
Yes.
So thanks for coming in and sitting down with us. Next up, we're going to be talking with Ty Box and Case and Brooks. So you guys stick with us. We'll be right back.
And welcome back to the Ranger Rundown. Tonight we have senior nickelback Ty Box and junior free safety Case and Brooks. Gentlemen, I got to ask you first. We know which one's taller. Which one's faster?
It depends on what we're running, honestly.
Ty's wanting to say something over there.
I would say I've got Casey just by a little bit, but that might be because of age. But
Ty definitely has me in the 400. We definitely saw that during track season.
You know the football field's only 100 yards, right?
I think I have Ty in a 40.
You think you have time in 40?
I think I do.
Well, especially since he's got to wear that big old brace.
yeah, he's definitely got me if I'm wearing that brace.
All right, well, kind of jumping into some questions. Ty, let's start off with you. You ready to go?
Yes, sir.
All right, so you missed basically all of last year with that knee injury. And I know that you worked hard in rehab throughout the season, tried to make it back several times. First off, how is the knee this year, and how does it feel to be back on the field?
Well, the knee's feeling good. I get some soreness every once in a while, but for the most part, it's pretty good. And then just to be back out there with my family, my teammates, it's a surreal feeling.
I know the coaches are happy to have you out there too.
Yes, sir.
Your name was something that was always brought up during the pre-broadcast meeting and stuff like that, and they were just wanting you to get back when you could, and they were just, just sad they could never get you back on the field last year. So, what do you think your best asset is, and what do you feel you still need to work on?
I feel like I bring a level of aggression, and I always pursue the ball and always try to make a play, even when the play might not be to me. I always try to get there and help out the best I can. And I just feel like I need to work on some lateral movement just because of that knee.
Yeah.
I have some hard time cutting in certain situations, but
Okay.
Ty, who's someone you look for as a role model?
one of my role models is definitely my dad, and he's just a great guy and always in a good mood, and just someone I try to look up to and aspire to be when I grow older.
His outgoing nature?
Yes, sir, for
Okay.
sure.
Never met a stranger right there.
So what do you want to accomplish this season?
I hope we just make a deep playoff run, and more than anything, just play as a team and accomplish the goals that we have set for ourselves as a team.
Well, Ty, I hope you guys do make a long playoff run, and I hope we get to call those games several weeks into the playoffs. And I think you guys have what it takes to get there.
Yes,
And one of those things is getting you back on the field. It's been fun watching you play and seeing how you've been able to grow and develop over the last couple of years. So I'm really glad you're having a good senior year so far, and really hope you get to continue going out.
Yes, sir, I appreciate it.
Kaysen, you're up. What's the biggest difference in the type of player you were last year versus this year?
I'd have to say the biggest thing is the experience, for sure. Last year was my first year on varsity, and the ball moves fast when it's your first time out there. But I think I've definitely overcome that a little bit. The game has slowed down, and I think I've been able to make some plays.
Do you still get a little nervous? Do you still get nervous?
Yes,
Yeah?
just a little bit.
Just not as bad as the first time?
Definitely not as bad. Just a little more confidence.
Was it really bad the first time, first game?
A little bit.
A little bit. All right.
Don't embarrass him.
I'm sorry. So being the quarterback for the secondary, what are some of the things or calls that you're responsible for, like pre-snap and things like that?
You know, our defense is pretty complicated, so, a big part of it is communication. So I try to help out with that. Mostly I just make calls with the other safety in the corner. That's on my side. But just making sure we're all on the same pages. But Coach Martin does a great job. He likes to give us tools. He always says this is a player-led team. And he gives us tools to make plays of our own.
Gentlemen, I want both of you guys to answer this question. Describe what it's like to be coached by Coach Martin.
I'd have to say it's interesting, to say the least. For sure. It's definitely interesting. But the biggest thing is he's stupidly smart. You can just tell. You talk football with him 5 minutes, you understand why he's our DC. But his level of dedication is huge too. You look at the field house, you always see his truck up there. He's always watching film. That goes for him and honestly all the coaches up there. They're always putting in the extra hours, and I think that's why I trust him.
Ty, same question.
The thing about Coach Martin is he is not afraid to hurt your feelings, and he will tell you what you need to hear. And a lot of times it's good stuff that you need to listen to and apply to the game that you're playing.
Both of those answers started a little rocky. I thought maybe they were going to start running more tomorrow, but they wound up pretty good.
I think that's a great answer, Ty, and I think that a lot of the defense would echo that, in the fact that if you want to be the best player you can be, you have to have someone that can tell you how to get there, right?
Yes, sir, for sure.
And that's not always rainbows and unicorns and candy corn, stuff like that, right?
Yes,
there's
sir.
got to be a little bit of tough stuff going along with it, right? Yeah.
Kaysen, what part do you like best about being free safety?
I think just being back there, I can watch the play unfold. I can get great reads on the play, and I think that allows me to make the plays that I make. It's just a lot of fun just sit there and analyze what the offense is doing and just make sure we make an effective play, get the offense back out there.
All right.
Okay,
guys, you ready for some rapid-fire questions?
Yes, sir.
All right, here we go. Ty, you answer first. Kaysen, you answer after that. All right, here we go. Favorite food?
Chicken fried steak.
I'd have to say hibachi.
Okay, unique answer and a good answer. Country or rock?
Country.
Definitely rock.
That's another good answer. Which one of you guys has the messiest locker?
It's probably me. I think it's pretty close. I don't think we're very messy, especially compared to some of the people in our locker room.
Well, I was going to ask which one of you guys is the stinkiest, but I thought that might be inappropriate. But don't answer that. All right. I want you guys to finish this sentence. I'm afraid of
Spiders.
So I'd say spiders too.
spiders. All right. Well, if we get a spider in the clubhouse, they're going to have to call mom to come take care of it for them. Guys, thanks for coming in. I hope you guys had fun. Really looking forward to seeing you guys take on Andrews. Friday night. Probably not going to be a lot of pass defense in that game, but we'll see you guys get to strap on and bring the heat into the box, right?
Yes, sir.
All right.
All right, well, stay with us. Next up on Ranger Rundown, offensive coordinator, head coach, Brian Hill. Well, and
Hold on.
oh, we had to unmute there for a second. We're back on Ranger Roundup Live from Rooster's backyard. Always a gracious host over here. We're trying to kind of get our shift on. I feel like we're on defense here.
Yeah, absolutely. We can do that.
Our little baseball.
Oh, we're close enough.
How's it going? Everybody good?
Well, I'm off now. This mic thing is throwing me off, and
But you look great.
no, I will. I appreciate that.
It's,
Not too much shine.
it takes away or adds to the shine. Exactly.
I appreciate you saying that.
Yeah,
I
you look
appreciate
great.
it. No, thanks. I appreciate that very much. I don't get that from anywhere else, but up here. So I'm sure I'm not gonna get
I was
it
just
all
kidding. I didn't mean it.
right. First, you replaced me on Tuesday. Ask if I'm coming back. with a sad face.
I was curious. I didn't know if it was a.
If you're going to have like the better guy here, is that what you're curious about?
I feel like we had a good time last week.
Well, I guess James Fortner will be back next week on Ranger Rundown.
We missed you.
I appreciate you saying
We
that.
did. We missed you.
That's good. That's good.
All right, Coach, let's get to the highlights of last week against Sweetwater.
Let's do it. Yeah. We started off pretty well. I was proud of the way we started. We talked about starting fast offensively and defensively, scoring on our first possession and keeping Sweetwater out of the end zone, and we were able to accomplish that. I really do. I think we played as hard as we've ever played since I've been here, and I was really proud of our effort in the first half especially. But, this is Peyton Rahman right here on a little screen pass that we put in. He did a fantastic job without the ball in his hands in week 1 against Childress, so I was glad we were able to show him some love on that screen pass, and he does a fantastic job on both sides of the ball. But, I don't think give enough credit to Lane Wilhelm. That was him on a pressure right there, his second start ever, and he just plays with a lot of energy, plays with a high motor. This is a 4th down stop early in the game, and from the end zone angle, you can really see Luke Fail splits a double team, does exactly what Coach Whittington coaches him to do, splits the double team and makes the tackle in the backfield. And, you can't say enough about Lincoln Madrid that kind of picks the snap up off the ground there and was able to find wide open receiver in the end zone. Cade is kind of Mr. Reliable. If you put the ball anywhere near him or Dylan Payton, he's going to come down with it. And so really well-designed play, and we were fortunate enough to get it in the end zone. But, we just finished talking to Ty Box, and he talked about his aggression. He's just absolutely incredible. We bring him off the edge quite a bit, and that's why. Those kind of plays right there where we call them chaos plays, where they're negative plays, turnovers, just something to put the offense behind the sticks. And here's another one, same type of hit from Josiah Galindo. We were glad to get him back off a knee injury. He missed week 1, and he was his presence was definitely felt out there at the corner spot, so we were glad to have him back. And then, anytime you can, Coach Martin's big on the turnover margin. We need to be +2 every single week, and I'm not sure I've ever seen a safety that can track a ball as well as Noah Rivas. He did well in the scrimmages. You see it every day in practice, and that was a great clip of him tracking the ball from the post safety with a lot of lead blocks from our defense. He did a really good job. And, especially in the second half of last year, we saw what Lincoln could do with his feet and extending plays. We had some quarterback runs in late in the year, and this is just kind of picking up where he left off last year. Was able to extend it with his feet and find a way to get in the end zone. It's really hard to stop an athletic quarterback, one that can get things going with his feet. But I'm not sure there was a better play than that. It was absolutely incredible. I told Dylan I've seen him grab a 5th gear, especially on the track, but that was gear 5, 6, 7, and 8 to go track that one down and make a one-handed grab. And then, a few series later, Nathan Tarango kind of did the exact same thing on the defensive side of the ball, was able to, we had just thrown an interception, and he was able to get the ball right back for us. And so I was really proud of our defensive effort and the way we created turnovers. I think the key is we've got to finish, when you take a 10-point lead into the 4th quarter, you need to win those games. You're supposed to win those games, and that's kind of the message to the team is we didn't finish. We were able to get some good film, showing some examples, and we're going to learn from our mistakes and be able to finish games next week.
Yeah, we all walked out of the stadium feeling a little deflated. I don't know that you could not, but like I said, we said at the beginning, when you go back and look at that game, I look back at it, a few days later, and I'm like, that was an exciting game. That was a game where we made a lot of big plays, and you can see the foundation that you're building from. And I don't think it's quite as negative as maybe you'd want to walk away from it once you start looking back on it. You talked a little bit about one of the things you shared with your team about finishing. What was your message? Friday night in the locker room with those guys. I know they're emotional group of kids this year, and so what was your message to them on Friday night?
Yeah, I think the message was, one, like the effort was there. I felt like we played extremely hard, both sides of the ball. Not a lot of guys loafing and taking plays off, but the execution wasn't perfect, And when you've got 11 guys doing it exactly right, it showed. And we played that way. A lot of the top 10 plays you saw there were just sheer effort plays with everybody going 100 miles an hour in the same direction. And I think the plays that got us were when there were 9 and 10 people doing the right thing, playing with great effort, and one guy, that wasn't executing at the same level. And so I think the message to the team this week is, obviously, one, we have to finish, and we had plenty of opportunities to probably put Sweetwater away, even as early as the second quarter and give them that knockout punch, and we failed to do so. And credit to Sweetwater, they were able to capitalize on those plays. And, I think lastly, the message was in every game, and our kids know this, there's going to be 4 or 5 plays that ultimately determine the outcome of the game. The problem is you don't know when those plays are coming. It could be the next play, it could be 5 plays from now, it could be 2 quarters from now. And so you've got to execute at a high level every single snap to make sure your bases are covered when those 4 or 5 plays show up.
Yeah.
Well, that's pretty deep right there, Coach.
Might be deeper than we can go.
I know, yeah, 4 or 5 plays. That kind of hits home there. Coach, when I think about the positives against Sweetwater, one thing Todd and I noticed is they didn't warm up on the field. So when they finally took the field and you get to see the size of these individuals in person, it kind of took me aback a little bit, right? And then we start reading the roster sheet and seeing that you've got 275, 280, 285, some very large individuals, playing high school football. But for me, the positive is kind of like you said, we never gave up, we never lost hope, and kind of fought to the bitter end. What are some positives that you saw?
Yeah, I think our effort was extraordinary. It really was. And our execution wasn't always on point, but that effort is something that the coaches can preach it, but ultimately the players have to take pride in their performance. And you see guys like Ty Box coming off the edge, Kason Brooks, who we visited with earlier, offensively, Dylan Payton, Riley Allen, Jaden Culver. I mean, those guys that take a lot of pride in their performance. Landon Butts, Dakota Underhill. I mean, I could go on and on and on. When you've got a team that's player-driven and they know the standard and they try to meet it each and every play, I think that's something that you can hang your hat on for the next 8 weeks and hopefully into the playoffs. And so was really pleased with our effort. No matter the score or the situation, I think we played as hard as I've seen us play.
So, Coach, I've been doing this this is my 6th season, and I don't know that over those 6 years I saw a crowd like we had Friday night. What was the energy like? What was the atmosphere like playing in front of that crowd?
Yeah, I love the Greenwood crowd. It doesn't matter if it's at home or on the road. Greenwood travels. I mean, it's a fantastic place to play, and you had senior night to that. You had the youth football night to that. The stadium was packed. I felt like our kids fed off that energy, especially early on, and it's just it's a fantastic environment when you've got that many people pulling for the Rangers. It was a lot of fun, and I think our kids really, whether they say it or not, they really appreciate it, and we all like playing at home. It's a special place.
Yeah, we get to see it top down. We don't get to hear it and be in front of it, so I bet it was pretty amazing. Oh,
it's great. Our cheerleaders are fantastic. Our band, Miss Rhines does a fantastic job with those kids, and it's a great game day atmosphere. It's what makes Friday Night Lights special.
Yeah.
Coach, as we prepare for Andrews next week, are there any changes that you're going to make to how the team prepares?
Yeah, they've kind of found their identity. This is their second year in the slot T, so it's still football, but it's definitely a different style. It's one that we haven't seen thus far, and we're probably not going to see again this year. And so changed the way we practiced, really stressing eye discipline, reading our keys. And I think what makes it so challenging is not the schematics. It's hard to practice it. It's a totally new offense. You have to teach our players to even give a scout look for our defense. And so it's Coach Martin and our defensive staff really have their hands full just trying to get us as accurate a look as possible during the week. But had a great practice today. You could see all the guys were disappointed, angry, embarrassed, and just itching for another shot to prove themselves. So I'm excited for Friday night. Can't get here soon enough.
Sure.
Well, I know that last year we had a little bit of trouble with that slot T in the first half. And it looked like it was – they were running away with the game.
Oh, yeah.
And you guys came back at halftime, made adjustments, and they couldn't move the ball. And so is that something where you go back and look at what we did the second half of last year and try to recreate that that scheme?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, we've been looking at Andrew's slot T since probably May or early June, and so we we put together a game plan, but that's part of the kind of the chess match, right? So we go back and look at what we did, but Andrews is going back to look at what we did the second half as well, and so you kind of have to have a plan A, a plan B, and a plan C for when plan B stops working. So you've always got to have a counter to what your plan A is.
Right. Okay.
Coach, what do you expect from Andrews Friday night? Are we looking at the same size as Sweetwater? Do they? Obviously they probably got a little bit more speed running that slot T.
Yeah, they've got a really good running back in Jay Sean. He's no stranger to Greenwood. Plays baseball against us, run track against us. Obviously, a tremendous football player. But I think all good teams have an identity. And for some teams it's air raid and spread and up tempo. Some defenses it's they blitz every down. And for Andrews it's the slot T, and they hang their hat on the misdirection and kind of banking on you not being disciplined with your eyes and that kind of deal. And so we, I think it's something we know what they're going to run within reason. They've got their 5 or 6 plays that they're going to hang their hat on, and they're counting on us not being able to stop it. And so we'll see who can win the chess match Friday night at 7 o'clock, and hopefully we end up on top.
Well, I like our odds.
I do too. This was coming off a loss, you never know how your team's going to respond. Is there going to be a lot of pouting and moping and worrying about last week? And quite frankly, I think our coaching staff is more guilty of that than anybody. Our kids did a great job bouncing back this morning. We had a good offensive practice, and then this afternoon, really seeing the slot T for the first time. We had, a few slip-ups, but our kids were disciplined, they were focused, they were excited. One of the more physical practices we've had on a Monday, and so I think just watching our practice, you can tell that our guys are ready for a mulligan, so to speak, ready for a do-over.
What do you want to see from your team Friday night?
Well, to match the effort we played with last week, for one, be disciplined on defense, and then offensively, kind of like we talked about, not be afraid or shy away from the opportunity to deliver a knockout punch. When you're up 11 right before halftime, go make it 18. In the second half, we need to stop their first drive, and we need to go score with our first drive. And so I think that finishing, that starting fast, and finding opportunities to deal those knockout punches are going to be what we as a staff are looking for from our guys on Friday.
Okay.
Cool, I like it. Coach, three keys.
We gotta bottle up the running back for sure. One, and then Coach Martin did a great job. We had a couple of turnovers on Friday, so it may not be interceptions this week, but we've got to force some fumbles and get the ball back for our offense. And then I think we have to put an emphasis on starting fast in both halves offensively. Our first possession of the first quarter, we need to go score, and then we need to get points early in the third quarter as well. So if we can do those 3 things, I feel good about our chances. And Andrews is a great opponent. They're a really quality team and disciplined in what they do, and so we're looking forward to the challenge.
I mean, it's definitely going to be a run fest on their side. Friday night.
There is. The clock's not going to stop often. It's going to be run. It won't be a long game.
What time are y'all going to leave Greenwood?
We'll leave about 3 and get there a little after 4, I think. That'll be kind of our game plan.
Game starts at 7?
Game starts at 7.
I think we'll be there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Well, Lord willing, so will we. Knock on wood.
Right. That's a long drive to Andrews.
Yeah, well, it's a lot better than the Childress. Yeah, they're prepared as well for the quick trip to Andrews, for sure.
For sure. Any expectations from special teams? We talked last week about Sweetwater. Their special teams, their onside kicks, we were able to stop that front. Didn't give them anything there. Anything that Andrews does?
Yeah, they've got a few wrinkles. They've got an interesting kickoff return. They line up in the swinging gate and go for 2 a lot. After they score. So hopefully we keep them out of the end zone and not have to deal with all that. But we'll have a plan A, B, and C for their
Yep.
2-point conversions as well.
Okay. Well, guys, we've got volleyball, live stream volleyball tomorrow at 6 o'clock. We've got it's home game, so hopefully everybody here that's listening will be at the game. It's going to be a big game against Wall. Raindrops need your support, so come out and pack up the gym. If you can't make it, make sure you tune into GSN, and I'll bring that game to you live. And then, as we said, Friday, 7 o'clock, we'll be bringing you the game from Andrews. So a lot of action coming up this week. Making sure you guys hit your notification button and get ready to see some sports.
Absolutely. We've got middle school football starting their season Friday in Andrews.
That's right.
Middle school
JV.
volleyball.
There we go. Tonight
Yeah.
at home.
We should be there.
We may have to pack up and go. Yeah.
Well, one of us will be there. Yeah, I underestimated signing up for this year, realizing that middle school travels with varsity. So
Gotcha.
this is going to be back-to-back trips. So
Just a little bit of pride.
appreciate the fuel sponsor there.
Well, we appreciate your service.
Yeah. Okay, guys, that's the end of this Ranger rundown from Roosters Backyard Grill. We appreciate them, and for Coach Thomas, all the work they put into it. Make sure that you guys subscribe to GSN so you catch all of our live streaming content and don't miss anything that's coming up.
That's it for us at Greenwood Streaming Network. We'll see you next week.